Hello everyone, I'm Caroline.
And I'm Phil.
And I'm pretty sure we've got sound tonight.
Are you sure? I can't see anything moving.
Don't panic if I slide down. Let's just put Phil's mind at rest. There you go.
Caroline had deliberately put the little slidey bar off the screen just to panic me then.
Yes, I
we
checked
have
before
movement.
we started. I don't know what it is with OBS. I think it hates me. And every now and then it just turns my sound off. But I know how to fix it now, so I'm fine. Right then, while Phil is catching up and doing a few bits and pieces, I'm going to go to the top of my screen and see who were the first three in tonight. And in first place was Bonnie Tyler Fan. So congratulations, Bonnie Tyler Fan. Second place was Lexi B, Lexi's Larks and Crafts. And in third place was Jen W, closely followed by Kate Millard and no doubt Oliver. So congratulations for being in the top three and being on a podium for the first time tonight. We still got several opportunities to get on that podium, as you well know. Right, so we've got lots and lots of celebration things going up. What are they? Are they? I think they're confetti explodey things. What do you call those? Party poppers. That's the one. Confetti exploder things.
That's a fairly good description. That kind of covers the bases.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to put some hearts. Here we go. Whee. Oh, I do love putting hearts up. Right then, here we go. I'm back down to the bottom. Are you ready or are you still fiddling around?
I'm always ready.
Phew. Phil's been on checking out the Facebook page again. Every morning he checks it. He decided to check it again now and he's running late.
Yeah, just taking a few
And
notes.
you can all see on camera, I'm not lying, he's still taking notes.
I am indeed. That's me. I'm a busy boy.
You are.
Right then. Where are we, dear?
We are. I just said who's first in and we're waiting for you.
Are we? Hello. I'm here. I tell you, we took a 3-day break, and I think we left our brains in the field.
Oh, we've had 3 days of doing nothing, and now I'm tired.
Yeah, you wake up in the caravan wanting to go back to sleep.
I know, we're terribly lazy.
Well, you're out in the countryside, and there's no responsibilities, no liabilities, can't do anything, and it's great.
Well,
absolutely
you could if you wanted to.
Yeah, we just
don't want to. But saying that, we did film a video.
Yes, we were going to film 2, but we filmed 1.
We did. Because the way things worked, the weather, plus Phil's brother stays in the caravan about 30 minutes from where we were, so we met up with them a few times. So
yeah, so it was great. It was great, but we had a lovely time. But of course, back to reality because work begins. I got a very busy week this week now to make up for the fact I had 3 days off last week. It's a trade-off. But no, we did make we had a great time. We did. We'll have to let you decide next Friday if we made a great video, but we certainly had a great time.
We did, it was lovely.
We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. And as you say, we got sunshine between the rain.
Oh, I tell you what I can do. I will be back in 1 second. I'm not really away. I'm just the other side of the camera.
Now,
I'm going to show you a teaser from next week's show, okay?
Oh, look out. This is Caroline's find.
And there may be a mark on that, or maybe not. And what do you think it is? Does it go that way, that way, that way?
The answer will be revealed.
Ooh, now we've got you all excited.
Yes, that adds a little bit of mystery to next week, because in next week's video as well, apologies from Manky, who was elsewhere, so didn't join us on this holiday. He was having a whale of a time somewhere else, so he wasn't there. But he was certainly there this week. And I know everyone's been counting.
Yes,
and
did you
I'm
get
looking
it right?
forward to see if
anyone
we can
get
come
it right?
to any kind of a reasonable agreement on how many times he appeared. Because he did show up a few times in this week's film. And of course, in this week's film, not only was Manky there, but Beata was there as well.
Yes.
Which was fantastic.
It was lovely meeting up with her. It was great fun.
Because it timed that at the beginning of the week we met up with Anne and Jason. By the end of the week we'd met up Beata, so it was absolutely great because after all the months and years of not meeting many people, particularly from abroad, from outside the UK, we've met Tom and we've met Kate and Oliver and we've met Lynn and a couple of others as we've gone around. Of course, we've been down to Kent and we met the Kentish Mudlarkers down there.
It's surprising who we have met.
So we've met a few people. I'm not going to run things off the top of my head. But then to suddenly find ourselves with someone from Germany at one end of the week and a couple from America at the front end of the week, that was quite a busy week for us.
And it's really odd when we meet people because, of course, you know so much about us.
Yeah.
And we don't know anything about you,
That's
so it's really strange.
You're following our life, and all we know is a name.
Yes.
You know, it's just a name and sometimes an avatar, and rarely does the avatar have anything to do with the name. Because you get pictures of dogs and cats and all sorts.
And you don't look like that when we see you.
That's
now
right.
Mini Beast, brace yourself everyone. Mini Beast has come back again this week with more brick jokes by the sounds on it.
Oh,
So we will wait.
Oh, no.
Let's have a look. There was a few things I wanted to read and now I've moved my mouse and I can't find it. Somebody's having, that's right. No, sorry if this is terribly unprofessional as usual, isn't it? That's it. Rachel Bailey, I may miss next Saturday's live show as we are celebrating my parents' 60th wedding anniversary. Oh, say congratulations to them from us, and I hope you have a lovely time at their celebrations.
Indeed.
And we'll go right down to the bottom now. Did somebody mention Tom Jones? Lexi said it's the best of Tom Jones. It could be. Do you know Tom Jones was actually playing in Cardiff this week?
Yeah, and do
He
you know
didn't
what?
get there, but he
Do you
was.
know what? There's an interesting thing.
An interesting thing.
My brother, my little brother, has recently gone to Lisbon in order to attend a concert of Andre Bocelli.
Andre
Bocelli, that's what I said.
You said Henri.
I was saying Andre in my head.
Oh, right. Oh, that's okay then.
I'm so tired. I can't vouch for what comes out of my mouth, but I definitely said Andre in my head. I know Andre very well. I've got his CD in the car. Andre Bocelli, and he wanted to hear him live, and he went over and he heard him, and he said he's marvellous, wonderful singer. But my brother was in Cardiff this week, and he was not in the venue. He was walking through Cardiff, and Tom Jones came on stage and began to sing. And he said the clarity of his voice outside the venue and the power of his voice, he said, I've got to be honest, he said it was as powerful, if not more powerful, than listening to Bocelli, which I thought was quite an interesting comment, because of course in his younger days Tom wasn't considered great shakes in the valleys, but he's gone on to prove all his critics wrong.
Yes.
And at 83 he is still belting it out on a stage to tens of thousands of people, so excellent.
And we are living with the biggest Tom Jones fan in the world. Tom Jones and Pavarotti are Manky's two favourite singers. And he looks innocent enough, but when nobody's around he puts his headphones on and he sings very, very loudly to Pavarotti and to Tom Jones, and you can just imagine we're all trying to sleep. Manky's in his room singing away to Pavarotti.
Yeah, which Panky has told him off about, but he doesn't take a
listen,
blind bit of notice.
Yes, he looks like an innocent bear to you all, but he's not.
He's not indeed. And on the subject of celebrations, and I'm sure there will be others coming up in the chat, amongst the images up on Facebook this week were quite a few from Anne and Jason, who've been posting images from their travels, because we've had images of the wildflowers in the moat around the Tower of London.
Yeah, that was
which I was very impressed with. I've got to be honest, I did comment and say that to me the atmospheric representation was more powerful than just another moat around the castle, to see all the wildflowers, all that beautiful soft nature up against the harsh walls that I've seen so much in the years. But also they sent pictures of Salisbury Cathedral.
Yes.
They did a selfie at Stonehenge.
I know.
Oh, we've got to do one of those.
We've never been to Stonehenge.
I know.
We live in the UK and we've never been there.
I know. You were coming over from America and showing us that.
I know.
We must. But of course, alongside all that, there were images of an afternoon tea. Not the one they ate in London, but the one they prepared for celebration of Mum's 78th birthday, I think it was.
Nice way to celebrate.
Yes, so a happy birthday to Mum. There we go. We'll throw that one in for free.
Oh, thank you, Linda. Linda said, Caroline, I loved your Christmas crafts this week. I liked the moon. That was my favourite one.
Yes.
Right.
I was wondering what she was doing when she has a pleasure. I'm just going to cut this. Snap, snap, snap.
I couldn't catch it in the head. I got filled up. It was really tough.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike said, if you saw Tom Jones singing Great Balls of Fire, it shows how the audience still enjoys his voice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he is. He's got an amazing
I've never heard him
voice.
sing that, actually.
He's got an amazing voice. He really
He has.
is.
He's very powerful.
And to be still performing in his 80s, exceptionally good. Exceptionally good. Anyway,
Right,
do you want a question?
Should we have a question?
Do you want a question? It's 10 past.
Get ready now if you want to get on the podium. Brush up your brains. Get them all polished ready.
Right then, here we go. The ironworks as a place of employment was a harsh, dirty and dangerous place to work, as they extracted the iron from the iron ore, because in order to do so they had to reach the melting point. What is that melting point approximately in degrees Fahrenheit?
Ooh.
I'm going with the Americans and I'm going with those who are not European based now. Right. Fahrenheit. Is it A, 1,000 degrees, B, 2,000 degrees, or C, 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit?
Go.
The melting point of iron in the iron ore. What is it in Fahrenheit?
No idea. And I've probably read it, heard it, but I have no idea. Right, Mini Beast's first joke is in. What is heavier, 200 kilograms of bricks or 200 kilograms of feathers? The feathers. If you want to lift 200 kilograms of feathers, you also have to handle what you did to all those poor little birds to get the feathers. Yes, poor birds. So a lot of baldy birds running around then. Ooh, I get the feeling that's the first of many. Right, and so do we have a winner? Let's have a look. We seem to, we got not many A's.
No, I think people have decided
it's B's or C's mainly, but is the answer A?
Well, as you will know, Caroline did give the melting point.
I completely forgot I did it then.
But did it in centigrade.
Right.
Which is why I thought I'd mix it up a bit and go for Fahrenheit. And if you wanted the correct answer in Fahrenheit, it was roughly 1,500 degrees centigrade, which is approximately 2,800 degrees Fahrenheit. So the nearest answer, because I said approximately, would be 3,000, which is C. So the very first answer in is correct. Right. And it's from Judy Erickson.
Well done, Judy.
And the second answer in is correct. And that's a name we see quite often in this quiz. Dan Fetters.
Well done, Dan.
Mike got in third, but played cautious and went for 2,000. So he opened the door for Ed Creative to come in with a C.
Well done,
and take
Ed.
The next podium place. So it's Judy, Dan and Ed, in that order, are on the podium tonight.
Oh, Linda said, Caroline, your face is frozen while buffering in a goofy pose on my TV. I'm now on my cell phone. Do you know, when I first started editing videos, it is a nightmare because you used to always see yourself and you look in the mirror and you're normal or you're smiling or you're just checking you look okay. And then you see yourself frozen in the most ridiculous poses when you're halfway through a word or your eyes are shut or they look like they're rolling up in your head. And it was mortifying at first. I'm just used to it now. Sometimes we have a laugh because I'll get to a certain point in the video and I stop for some reason and Phil's go.
I know. Oh, it's horrendous.
Oh, look, you're shocked, Phil.
Yeah, you just got to roll with it.
Yeah, so get used to it in the end.
You do indeed.
I'd love to be one of these people who always look good, but that just doesn't happen.
And of course, that's one of the things that we find when we're in the caravan is the internet reception is it's rarely as good as at the house, and sometimes it's quite weak. And when everybody gets on there around 6-7 o'clock in the evening, so I had problems watching the premiere last night because we were at the caravan and I was lagging behind and people were in the comments saying, look, Phil's moved into the house, and I hadn't even seen myself in the house yet. So I was getting buffered back and had to keep jumping forward. So it can be a bit frustrated if you any issues with the internet link, and that's why we never, if we're away, we never arrange to do anything on the internet unless we're staying, say, in Hastings and we're at Nathan's.
Yes.
We can use his internet because we know he's got us.
We need to be at a person's house because if we're in a hotel,
Hotels,
it's very good
caravan
upload sometimes,
parks.
download, but upload is dreadful.
Yeah, well, what they've done is they've sacrificed the upload because they think, well, nobody's going to be uploading that
No.
much. You're only going to send emails. They
So
don't
we
expect you to be running a blinking studio from your Premiere.
Which is a shame, because sometimes when we're away, we think, oh, this would be a brilliant place to do our live show from. Perhaps we found a picnic table by a lake or something, and it would be just so nice, but we can't do it.
Absolutely.
I'm sure there must be ways, but I don't know what they are.
Absolutely right. Linda, as she says, does anybody always look good? And what does looking good mean anyway? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree with you more.
My excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
No.
Right, what was I going to say then? Mike Sage. Tom Jones on The Voice of Global sang Great Balls of Fire. Right. Because I know he's got his classics, the ones he always sings, like The Green Grass of Home.
Yeah, I get that quite often taking services. People will request that. And another guy that's bigger is David Alexander. A lot of people have David Alexander.
Give me a clue, what does he sing?
David Alexander is a Welsh Valleys singer. And he sings all the ballads.
Oh, right.
All the sort of a working man and all the rest of it.
Right.
So, and quite often, if we've got an old miner, then they'll play Working Man by David Alexander. But I think of him because he's got that very powerful.
Oh, right, so that's the
Welsh
one they
voice.
sang at my Uncle Nally's funeral.
Probably.
Right, yeah, I know that
Yeah.
one. I
Singing
know it
about
now
down,
because I've heard
down the
it.
pit and all the rest of it.
Right.
Yeah, they tend to play that quite often around these parts. But that's not Tom. That's a guy that stayed in the valleys but made a good living for himself. Did rather well.
No, you can't have a CD, Manky. So all we need is another CD in the house. Right, sure. Let's go for what pictures now.
Yes, we've got
We've
only got the one tonight, haven't we?
We've got a good selection of different things going on, so it's trying to make sure we fit everything in.
We've got one picture going up tonight, and that is from Rachel Bailey.
Yeah, look
and
at this one.
This is a follow-on to a story on the Facebook page, because there's lots of talks about trains. Can't imagine who started all that talk about trains. Possibly Adam, the Victorian mudlarker, but because he's been putting up pictures, he's been putting up brain teasers, and about which track goes where. He's also been putting up pictures of himself posing on his train on Saturday. And we got into talking about trains, and Rachel put up pictures of the train. She mentioned the trains up around the area of the lakes, isn't it, the Lake District. Put up pictures of the trains and then told a little story about her brother David. And how her brother David was there at the Ravenglass Steam Railway on the day that they brought into service for the first time a carriage which meant that people with disabilities would be able to take the journey. And in order to open it, they had somebody extremely famous. And that's who's on the picture. And there we have Sir Douglas Bader, the famous war pilot veteran who continued to fly after losing his legs and flew with tin legs. But if you see the young man just behind him, what Sir Douglas Bader is doing there is comparing his prosthetic limbs with young David's prosthetic limbs, because as you can see there on the picture, David has prosthetic arm and leg in the shot. And they were comparing limbs, which must have been a very wonderful moment for young David. And Rachel got the picture and sent it through to us on an email. So we wanted to share that with everyone because I thought, what an amazing day, and lovely that when they got the facility so that people that weren't able-bodied were able to get and enjoy because of course using the old carriages and everything else is brilliant, but you got to give it to the Victorians. They were pretty rubbish at catering for anybody that didn't have full mobility, because they just saw you then as somebody that couldn't take part in society, and that's where we've come a long way. But the train company put on a special carriage, had it designed so that everyone could enjoy the ride and the scenery and the experience. Sir Douglas Bader comes down, and David was there, and he was obviously star of the show there, comparing his prosthetic limbs with
and lovely.
Sir Douglas.
And I suppose in a day when he wasn't so acceptable, now it's just normal, but it
for him to
wasn't
be there and
not even acceptable. And it was shocking to people, you know, that this sort of thing happened. Was now it's just normal, isn't it? You know, it's life.
We're far more aware now of the difficulties that people have and try to deal with them. But of course, I'm sure amongst some, well, I've always considered Sir Douglas Bader as an extremely heroic man, and his story is inspirational. But I would imagine he was a great inspiration to anybody that found themselves needing to have prosthetic limbs fitted because of his sheer determination that he wouldn't just walk again, but he would fly again. And he actually, I think, you know, I'm terrible for getting stories mixed up, but I'm pretty sure he got shot down again after he'd had his legs. And when he landed, they had to send to Britain for a spare set of legs.
Sounds familiar.
I'm pretty sure they had to send from the prisoner of war camp through the Red Cross to get him a spare set of legs because he didn't have his legs, because he'd crashed his plane. So that sort of character must have been such an inspiration to people that were coming to terms with dealing with the needs they had. And to see them both together, I thought it was such a beautiful picture.
It is,
Such a beautiful picture. I'm so glad that Rachel sent it, and it's so lovely to be able to share it tonight.
Thank you.
Shall we
have another question? Let's see if we can be all
organised.
Well, I can't even find the question jingle.
We're so organised, we haven't got a jingle. Right, now then, the next 4 questions, the answers were there in front of you in the video. In fact, it's true to say it of all 5, because as I said, in centigrade, Caroline did give you the answer to the first one, but these were visual pieces of the film, and I'm going to ask you questions about them.
Ooh, you ready for this?
So here we go. Among the newspapers on the wall of the cottage, as well as the Standard and the Times, there was also an Irish paper. What was that paper called? A. The Cork Examiner. B. The Dublin Post. Or C. The Munster Express.
Go! Oh, Rachel said, one thing you could not say to my brother David was, you can't do it. He sounds like a real character, and, well, at the end of the day, that must have made such a difference to his life as well, because it was so easy, I suppose, for people to think, oh, you can't do that. We knew a lady once, and they said that she would just never be able to learn. What was the problem with her?
Can't recall.
I think she was slightly deaf or something, and they said, oh, it's pointless sending her to school because she'll never manage to make anything of herself.
And she had one slightly withered hand. That's right. One hand was crooked.
And I think she was a little deaf, but there was nothing wrong with her. It's just
so they never gave her an education.
No, and they used to treat people like that, didn't they, long time ago, and I think it's lovely now that people like Douglas Bader are making these, bringing the awareness here, and people thinking, well, hang on a minute.
Well, he was one of the...
Everybody should have the entitlement to a life, and it looks like your brother would have been definitely taking everything he could out of life. So and I find, nowadays, it's a different world, isn't it?
Yeah, and I also find that very often it's the people that face the greatest challenges that find the greatest determination.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because I often say about my youngest has probably seen more of the world than any of us, because every time you told them they couldn't, they would. Every time you told them they shouldn't, they did. And I always remember the doctors saying to me at the hospital when our youngest had their surgery, I said, so what's the situation as they grow up? And they said, well, they're never going to win any prizes. It's sports day. And I turned around and I said, well, you can't say that. And he said, why? I said, well, you don't know how tired the rest of the class are going to be. Perhaps he'll end up with such a lazy bunch in his class, he'll beat them at something. And I remember when they were quite young, they were in sort of primary age, and it was the school sports day, and they introduced the welly throwing competition. What on earth happened, we'll never know, but that welly came out.
I think the wind must have taken it.
The welly went up in the air.
I've never seen a welly fly so far.
And our youngest, won the welly throwing competition. Yeah. And the first thought that crossed my mind is, the doctors were wrong, and they proved it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
First place.
Yeah, you got it. And it's lovely. The thought of the picture And actually seeing your brother, because he had such a look about him, you could see that I'm you. You know, he looked like the star in the picture, Rachel. I'm sure you're proud of your brother, and I'm sure he has good reason to be proud of everything he's achieved in his life too. And as Caroline said, the likes of Sir Douglas Bader, they have changed the world, because they didn't just stand up for themselves, even though he lost his legs. He stood up and he started to shift the thinking of those in power, and it just, all that the people wanted was just an equal opportunity to get out there, and that's what they have been working towards.
Well, anyway, Bonnie Tyler fan said, I know when I was little, people said the same thing about me, that somehow being in a wheelchair somehow meant I couldn't learn or do anything. Isn't that crazy? It's absolutely ridiculous, but it was the way things were. And you certainly proved them wrong.
And this lady that we knew, it was so sad, because she was so intelligent. It was obvious she was intelligent when you had a conversation with her. She could hold a conversation, but there was something of the child about her, because they'd always kept her a child, didn't they? When she no longer had her mum and her home and everything else, they thought, well, where do we put her now? And she was one of the youngest people in an old people's home, and that's where we met her. And we used to pick her up in the car and bring her along to our chapel and take her to all the events. And, you know, you just realised what potential. But
Ed was saying, my art teacher in high school said I was a terrible artist and should give it up. And I don't know if you've seen over on the Facebook page, Ed's art is pretty good.
Ed's been putting up, I think what you've been doing, Ed, is archiving your art onto your computer. So there's actually a link on there, and you can see quite a bit of Ed's art, which is fantastic. I really enjoyed looking at that.
Oh, right, Lexi B said, hated sport today with a passion. Me too. I never won anything.
Right, now then, we better find out if anybody's got the correct answer on this question.
We didn't have the answer.
I know, we did go off. See, we're so organised.
Focus, come on now.
I've got to remember.
I am focused.
Right, now then, this is interesting. This is exceptionally interesting.
Oh, Tom! Well done, you interrupted Phil. Thank you so much. We got a £10 super chat off Tom Burley. Thank you ever so much. We really, really do appreciate that. That
Tom,
is so kind of you. Thank you.
You are a gentleman, Tom. An absolute gentleman. And just to let you know, sir, I have been going through my diary, making plans, and there's the possibility that we'll be up around York area before the end of the summer, probably September. Probably September time. There's a chance we're going to be up your way, sir. So we look forward to catching up with you.
It's been ages since we saw each other.
We'll have to go out and have a meal and enjoy some time together, because you're a great guy. Okay, here we go. There are correct answers.
Right, so who was first?
That's the first thing to say. But they are few and far between. That's the second thing to say. Because an awful lot of people have gone for the Dublin Post. Ooh. Now, I should say all three of these papers do exist, or did exist, or have existed. They're not made up. But the correct answer is the Cork Examiner. That's what you will see when you go
Sounds
down.
Sounds like a job at a wine factory, doesn't it?
Play back your video, you will see as we come off the Times up to the Standard, Caroline goes over the Cork Examiner, which I think is a hint to the fact that some of the folks that worked in the ironworks had come over from Ireland. So, the first correct answer is Mike Sage.
Well done, Mike.
There we go. So although he was preceded by two other answers, he's on the gold podium. And now we've got to go down the page away to find Bonnie Tyler fan 34.
Oh, well done, Bonnie Tyler fan.
Is the next one with an A. And then we got to go down again, going through the B's until we have Javier Garcia.
Well done, Javier.
So there you go. That's our three tonight. We've got Mike, Bonnie Tyler fan 34, and Javier Garcia. You have got the three podium places. And I'm going to give Anne Goodwin a mention, because you are the only other person who got an A.
Oh, there are silver gilt to you, Anne.
There you go. If it had been B, golly gosh, we would have had some. Do you know what? There's so many B's there. I'm going to have to go check the video and make sure there wasn't a doubling post on there as well that I didn't notice. But the one I saw, definitely the cork exam.
Tom's next video was one with the Johnsons on, probably from about 18 months ago.
I was going to say we haven't seen him for nearly 2 years.
You share my love of editing, don't you, Tom?
Tom has got the exact opposite position to us. We literally made that video last week. It goes out this week. We've just been on holidays. It'll go out next week. We are yet to build up a catalogue of one in hand.
We're trying.
He's a cunning lad.
Yes.
He's got a few in hand. He's prolific in his recording and not so prolific in his editing. No. So it's giving him a good, strong position.
For anybody on here who makes videos, do you reckon the editing is the worst part? I find it really difficult. It's trying to tie it all together and all the cuts, and then my stupid program does not allow you to put. You got this cross dissolve. So if you cut a piece, then it jumps. So I always like to put a cross dissolve, and it just makes a smooth transition. So if I've done a piece of music, cut, and then at the end, you can't sort of blow it up and put cross dissolves on them all. You've got to each one drag and drop, and it drives me bananas. And then you've got to sound manage the levels, and I'm not a big fan of editing.
No, you love making the videos, but you find the process frustrating.
Yes.
And Tim always says to Caroline, stop being such a perfectionist. Don't put the pressure on yourself. Just put it together. No one cares. But like Caroline says, she cares. Caroline,
it annoys me to not put it out when it's all sort of polished.
Yeah, you'll notice if you watch Caroline's videos that when she'll do a musical piece, the shot changes on the beat, and Caroline will go through and change the shot on the beat. And Tim says, don't worry, just stick it to the music. Caroline says, I can't, because that's why I say Caroline does love the creative process. That's why she's got a craft channel, that's why she's into drawing, that's why she was into music, that's why she was into spinning and knitting and everything else. Patchwork and linking, lace making. Caroline loves the creative process. The problem with the creative process of making a video, unlike everything else Caroline does, you can't just take a scissors and a piece of paper and a pen.
Fiddly.
You've got to rely on a computer, which as soon as you introduce that into the equation, we all know it can lead to frustration.
Oh, do I shout at my computer?
So now, my responsibility is, my job before was to put all the pieces together in some semblance of order with small labels on, so Caroline would just have 96 bits of video, which at least were in some kind of order. So I do a pre-edit, Caroline does the edit. Now I do the pre-edit, Caroline does the edit, while I massage her neck and keep her coffee and keep her calm and fetch her coffee.
I can't stand it.
So it's double man hours on the edit now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's good. It's great, and we love the end product. But there are processes that can.
It's my least favourite bit.
It's the most time consuming as well.
Yes, it's usually about 3 hours to edit a video. It's a long time, really.
Yeah.
Tom was saying, if I do a Patreon page, I'll feel more obligated to finish videos and get at least one out each month. That's a good plan. Let us know how you get on with that.
Yeah, you're saying he's already done
2 unboxings.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to ask you what you unboxed in case it's a secret. You can let us know if you want to, but certainly no stress. Oh, wait a minute, Minnie B has sent us a joke. It's jumped. There are 500 bricks on a plane. One falls off. How many are left? Oh, now obviously the answer is not 499. Tom said, I swear at my computers. Both of them. And sometimes at the same time. They ask for it though, don't they, Tom? Computers are evil.
Bonnie Tyler fan said to Tom, I thought swearing at the computer was an obligation of having one.
Oh, boxes of scrap metal. Oh, brilliant. I bet people will love that. One thing when we were doing our resale channel, people loved unboxing. Like, we go to the auction and buy boxes of things, and we'd look through our boxes. They loved that.
Well, we're on to another joke of maybe.
I know, I'm trying to find the answer.
How to put an elephant in a refrigerator.
Yeah, well, I'm lost now. You look for the answer, because I'm completely confused.
There are 5 of bricks on a plane, one falls off, how many are left?
Yeah, but I can't find an answer. Have you not given us the answer?
It's a long joke. Correct.
Right.
You're correct that it's not 499, I assume.
Oh, right.
And then you want to know...
Minibeast is still saying it's a long joke. Oh, I don't know. You know, it doesn't take much to confuse me nowadays. Right, let's have some happy news. If I can find our little thingy.
You can do yours, yeah?
Go on then, I'll do mine.
You can do yours?
And this is Zimbabwe's therapeutic friendship benches coming to a city near you. Poverty, genocide and dictatorship has left Zimbabwe struggling with an epidemic of depression. Enter the Friendship Bench, a landmark project that employs grandmothers to deliver therapy in their neighbourhoods. Would you like to share your story with me? The elderly woman in the long yellow dress softly asked her companion, a slight man who sits with his head bowed towards his lap. It's springtime in Zimbabwe's capital city, and the setting, a simple wooden bench shaded by banana trees, makes for an unconventional therapy room. Founded in 2007, the Friendship Bench project has treated 280,000 people in 70 communities across Zimbabwe and at spin-off projects in Malawi, Kenya and most recently Zanzibar and Vietnam. In 2024, it will arrive in London with a series of friendship benches set to be installed in the city's most marginalised communities. What a brilliant idea! It's very low cost, and there are lots of people who want to help and are not sure how they can help. And by putting these friendship benches up, your grannies know they're there, and if nobody comes, nobody comes. If somebody sits down, then they know somebody's going to ask them a question, how are you? And say, tell me your story. What's been going on in your life? So it gives them somewhere to come, because there's something we take for granted, I suppose. In an easy situation, we've got friends, family, we can go out for the night and chat to somebody wherever they are. You can even, when you're doing your shopping, chat to the lady who's on the till, or the man who's on the till, whatever. But imagine having a place you could go, no matter how awful you're feeling, you're not alone, because I got to go to the bench. I'm going to go and talk. But nobody's going to pressurise you. If you're feeling, I don't know if you ever get it, you're feeling really grotty, and the last thing you want is somebody to talk to you. You haven't got to sit on the bench, but if you sit on that bench, help is there. And I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
I think they should do it globally. It's good that it's coming to London.
It sounds it's spreading.
It looks like it could take off.
And one of the ironies of the story, which I thought was really powerful, is that an idea from Zimbabwe is coming to London to help us to deal with the issues of anxiety and depression caused by poverty and other factors. Because of course, so often the West sees itself as the place doling out all of the help and the advice to the people over there. And now it's people out there that are sending help back. And as Caroline says, such a simple and profound method, just to see an elderly lady sat on a bench, and it becomes. And they were saying what drove this idea. It was an idea that a psychologist, I believe it was, out in Zimbabwe had, was that seeing people that were reaching that point where they couldn't cope anymore, but they were on waiting lists that were so long, they weren't getting the help, and they were literally in danger of losing people because the depression was overtaking them. And he thought all they need is someone to talk to. And of course, out in their culture, there's a deep respect for the mothers of the community, the grandmothers. They're seen as wise and caring. So they sit and they listen. Yep. And very often, I'm not saying it's the answer to everything, but as Caroline said, so often having someone that listen, and someone that's outside of your situation, because even if you've got a very kindly grandparent, it can still be an issue that you might not feel you could talk to them about what's really troubling you. But the stranger makes it easy.
Phyllis was saying it'd be a good idea to put them in schools. I think that's a brilliant idea, Phyllis. And the conversation on Temu, I can say this, I have filmed an unboxing on the Temu order that I just got, and I thought I've got a link that I can put on, and if you use my link, then you get, they got some, I don't even know what the offer is, they're going to give you an extra percentage off or something. So I thought, well, I didn't want to put anything out to the other, although I had the link until I had the stuff delivered. I've had the stuff delivered, and I'm really pleased with it all. I was surprised because I thought it was going to be cheap junk, but it wasn't. And there was one issue I had, and I'd ordered 40 beads and there were only like 8 in the pack. I contacted them and straight away they said no problem, instant refund and keep the beads. So they wanted a photograph and things first to prove it. But yeah, so I'm really pleased with them. The only thing is there's just so much temptation. I know I've been reading about people who really are getting addicted to it. They're spending all the time because there's so many bargains on there. But they keep sending me these bargains, but I'm resisting. I'm thinking, no, I'm not buying any more at the moment. I tell you what, when Phil's reading his happy news, I'll go and see if I can find my link, and you can pop, if you download, I don't get anything for any future orders you put in, but I think they give me a small amount, because I want to disclose it, and they say, I think I've got to anyway, that I get a small amount if you download the app and make an order. But then again, if you've already got it, don't worry, it won't make any difference, and you haven't got to use my link anyway. I think I'm rambling now, I'm going round in circles, but I'll go and find my link and put it up, and you can check it out if you're not sure whether it's any good.
Now, going back to the friendship benches, Lexi's saying we have chat benches in a local town.
All right.
Where signs on them say, sit there if you don't mind people chatting to you.
Right.
And Michelle Grady was saying, I've heard of friendship benches in kids' school playgrounds. If you feel lonely, then you sit, and the kids know to sit with the sad person. I think the step they've taken a little further with these benches, if I get the backstory right, is that they train these people to be able to sit and hold a conversation, and then to sort of guide them in the directions that are advisable for them to make referrals and stuff. So there's a little more to it, because I think they put somebody at the bench. But it's great to hear these ideas, because I remember years ago an old boy saying that he used to go out and he used to love to walk for miles, and he'd meet people and he'd talk with them, and then old age started to creep up on him. But he said, I came up with a solution. He said, I just walk down to the park and I sit on a bench, and if anybody else sits on the bench, then that's my cue. I just start talking to them. So he saw it as a place to just make conversation. He used to enjoy his chats with people on his walks, and now he just walks to the bench, sit down, and wait for passers-by to sit down next to him. So benches can be very sociable. And of course, when you sit on the bench, you have the freedom to get up and walk away at any time. It's not like being in a room and the door closes behind you and you sit that side of the desk and the person sits this side of the desk. You're on an equal footing because you're sat side by side. You don't have to engage by looking directly at each other, and at any moment you can get up and walk away and there's nothing to impede you. So I think it takes away that sense of restriction. So brilliant ideas, and it's great to see that they're being deployed in different ways around the place.
Right, I think I've done that right. I may not have. I think I have to hold you up a second because I'm completely lost now. I've messed up my screen. I don't know where I am. There we go. I'm back. So you can see a link there. So if you haven't already downloaded it, if you use that link, I don't think it works if you have downloaded it, but I could be wrong. If you want to check it out, and all the things I bought were for my craft channel, so that'll be coming out over on my craft channel. That video shouldn't be long now. So
shall we have another question, because it's 1:45?
Let's have another question. I find my question. I'm all confused now. There.
Here we go. Another question, and the answer was there in front of you in the video. In the shop, there was a grandfather clock. Which of these buildings was included on the painted clock face surround? Was it a church, or a castle, or a windmill?
Go.
What do you think? There was an image of two people at the top, then there were two buildings and two buildings. Among the buildings, did I see a castle, a church, or a windmill?
Right, oh, the answers are coming in, and oh, so look, lots of B's, lots of C's, not many A's again. Ooh, is A the answer? And it's going to be a difficult one. Ooh, I'm not saying anything. It's always, if you haven't got a clue, it's always worth guessing, because you could guess right.
Yeah, it's always worth a guess, and with an A, B, or C, you've always got a 1 in 3 chance of being right. Indeed, I've passed many a test on the theory that if in doubt, go B. But if you've gone with that theory this time, you'll have missed the boat because you want a castle. No, and it wasn't a church. It was indeed a windmill. In fact, there were 2 windmills. 2 houses, 2 windmills, and 2 people. So, windmill was the correct answer, which means you're looking for a C, which takes us down to the 4th answer in, which yet again is Mr. Mike Sage.
Well done, Mike.
There we go. And then we got to go down another few answers to find Colin Scott.
Well done, Colin.
Who is followed immediately by Kate Millard.
Well done, Kate.
And a quick mention for a silver gilt for being the next in line, and that would have been Darth in a galaxy
well
far,
done,
far
Darth.
away.
Who did say, did Phil label the answers? No, he didn't. he just read them out. Sorry about that.
Yeah, there we go. So you've got Mike and Colin and Kate. You've got the 3 podiums, but a special mention for In a Galaxy Far, Far Away, Darth, because you got C as well. You were directly behind Kate, but she pipped you to the post.
Right then, so how are we doing now? Because we've got 12 minutes left.
Oh, we're fine.
Right, okay, then you can do
We're
your
fine.
news.
I'll do my news, yeah, I'll do my news. Okay. My happy news has the headline, Man embarks on 143 acts of kindness mission in 40 days. Kevin's been cutting grass at vacant homes and businesses, picking up trash, handing out free food and snacks on the west side of Cincinnati. Kevin started July the 4th by taking part in a 5K raising money for paediatric brain tumour research, and ended with more grass cutting. All the time he tried to be positive. Excuse me.
Don't bit my water.
No, it's okay. All the time he tried to be a positive change that can inspire others. I was driving down the street. It was pouring down with rain, and there was an elderly man walking with a walker. I pulled over and had the opportunity to drive him to the store and home. It's been a great opportunity to meet and engage with the community, said Kevin. The reason for the 143 is it holds special meaning because it was another way that Mr. Rogers, one of Kevin's heroes, would say, I love you. Each number represents the number of letters in each word. The whole idea is to be out here spreading 143 random acts of kindness, but really spreading love and kindness throughout the entire community, said Kevin. I want to inspire other people to also say, yeah, I want to do this as well, and let it be a ripple effect. There's enough negativity, he said. Let's start some positive ripples and see how far it can go. So I thought that was a very positive story.
It is.
One man decided there's not enough positivity in the world, too much negativity, so he decided he was going to do something. And I like that concept of wanting to be a ripple effect. Make a splash, yes, but then see how far the ripples go. And he's hoping other people think that's a good idea. And as he said, until he started doing his 143 acts, which I thought was a nice thing as well, the numbers. Obviously, I, 1, love, 4, you, 3. I love you, 143. And in doing his 143 acts of kindness, he started to see needs that he had missed before. So probably if he'd been driving down the road any other time, he wouldn't have noticed the man on the walking frame in the rain. But because his mind was set towards doing good, he stops his car, doesn't just take him to the shop, gets him back in the car and takes him home again. So I thought that was a fantastic story.
Very nice.
Very encouraging. Very encouraging.
Yep.
It's
goes to show there are lovely people in the world.
There are. It's just that very often it's the nasty or naughty people that make the most noise and make the most fuss and get the most attention. But I always believe that, you know, as the good book says, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And you don't have to go to the evil to overcome it with good. I believe that any good you do anyway goes into the pot and balances the books. So whatever opportunities we have to do something good, I think we should take it.
Darth said, the questions are tough, Peggy, but this quiz always ends with the most difficult question. I agree. Sometimes nobody knows the answer.
Do you want another question? Do you want another question? Seems okay. On the B-roll of the town, when I was talking about the shops, it began with a familiar sight from many valley villages and towns, and that is the rather grand-looking English Baptist chapel. We've got one in the middle of our town. You almost saw it on video, except we had no sound. And that's the one we were married in the English Baptist chapel. The date it was built was actually on the front of the building. Was it A, 1688, or was it B, 1788, or was it C, 1888?
Go!
Which do you think it was? English Baptist Church in a Welsh town. When do you think it was opened?
Ooh, well, Mini Beast has got an unusual mix. One of everything. A. Dad says B. Mum says C. Oh, who's won? Competition's heated up in your household. Right. Ooh, well, one of you is going to be on a podium.
Yeah.
Wonder which one. Right, we got a lot of B's and C's again. Not many A's. What is it everybody's got against A this week? Next week, Phil will know all the answers, A.
Right then. Well, the answer is Mini Beast's mum was right.
Oh, well done, Mini Beast's mum.
Because it's C. It's 1888. It's when you got the major influx of folks coming in from around the place. The collieries were open and everything else. Now, the ironworks had been there for some time, but it started to expand. And as things expanded, they brought in the workers. And that's when they started to look to having English-speaking chapels. So the Welsh Baptists ended up with English Baptists, but it was the language differential. Ours was opened around 1902 or I think it was 1902 ours was opened. This one was 1888. So, Mini Beast 283's mum
gets the biscuit.
Is quickly followed by Ed Creative.
Well done, Ed.
Who is then followed a few answers down by, and it's great to see him back in his rightful place on a podium, Mr. Tom Burley.
Oh, well done, Tom.
So we've got Mini Beast's mum, Ed, and Tom take the podium places on there.
Right, do we need another question pretty much on the heels of that one?
No, I just want to share a few of the things that I picked up.
Okay, what's the time? We've got 6 minutes.
Just a few of the things that I've noticed. There's so much now happening on the Facebook page. It's wonderful to see all the activity. Every time I open it up, there's new notifications and posts. We've had Ed, as we mentioned, with his artwork, but he's also put up an article about an hidden chapel in Howell's department store, which was very interesting. And his energy saving tip. I'll share it with you all.
Ready for this?
Ed decided if he was cooking a pizza, there's 2 shells in the oven, I'll make full use. He put in a carrot cake and chicken slices, so he didn't have to use the oven the second day.
Look at that, how's that for clever?
And he got a bag of carrots reduced to 50p.
Oh, well.
So there we go.
Win-win.
Of course, Stephen, our resident duck whisperer, he has exceeded himself. He is now feeding the duck ridge pottery. Well, he's not actually feeding it ridge pottery.
No,
but
he's
he
not that cruel.
found the ridge pottery, and as he picked it up, the duck pinched it clean out of
It
his
probably looked like a piece of bread. And, like, ooh.
And it is a classic World of Sport action replay of the event for people to watch. So that was brilliant. Oliver and Mum have been on pond dipping safari, and they've been out bug hunting on nature walks. As I mentioned, Adam and his trains. Laura put up some fantastic pictures of what they see as weeds where they are, but I thought they were phenomenal flowers on the beach. And in one of the comments, Ellen put up a picture, a painting she'd made of those very flowers, which was absolutely stunning. Nigel's put up some cracking images, especially of some waves and the clouds and the sounds of the waves. We've had a crocheted blanket that was super colourful from Brittany. And of course, Beata, finishing her tour, went up country and put up some great pictures from up in the Stoke-on-Trent potteries.
Yeah.
So they're just some of the things on there to give you an idea of the variety of stuff going on the Facebook group. And if you haven't joined the group, just put in a request and we'll add you to the group. It'd be great to see you over there. So now...
Ed was saying he was a shell. There's another one on there now.
Oh no, the shell...
There was one with the shell, but there's...
The shell, he nearly nicked. Ed, you got to see the Ridge Pottery one. I'm telling you, it's a cracker. You know,
be funny. So we won't do a spoiler. Just watch the video. It's a cracker.
You watch it. It's an absolute brilliant.
So
and good on you for getting the footage as well, Steve, because that couldn't. That was
it could have
the
been... fact
that you caught him in the act.
Yes,
was brilliant.
Right then, let's have another question.
Yes. Right. I'm going to cut straight to the question.
Right, the big question.
I'm going to cut straight to the question. How many times did Manky appear in this week's video? Ooh. And I'm going to get my notes from my edit because I can see this turning out to be argumentative. I would say, was it A6, was it B8, or was it C10?
Right, and because you stopped, everybody thought it was going
that's
time.
Right. Just put your numbers up.
I'll just put your numbers up then.
Put your numbers up.
And we'll see how they go. And Judy said, don't forget Phyllis's yummy breakfast. I know. That looked tasty, didn't it?
Oh, Phyllis. Phyllis has been on a food binge. It's not just a breakfast because we've had, what was it? Barrel cracker, was it?
Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, we've had a waffles. And I think the latest was the ice cream parlour. Ice cream parlour, I tell you.
We do love looking at pictures of food.
Yes, yes. There lots of food with Phyllis this week, for sure.
Right. Oh, Darth said, wow, I was going to say 4. And then lots of people are coming up with numbers. And then we've also got some people then who've gone back to the letters. Sorry, it's a little bit of a confused question this time.
Yes.
Right, I love Cracker Barrel just because they sound so lovely. We don't have those here. And I also, another one I like the sound of is Dairy Queen. And of course, my complete fascination with Piggly Wiggly. One day, if I get to the States, I'm going to Piggly Wiggly. I know you don't eat there. Well, you know, maybe you do as well. But I want to shop in Piggly Wiggly. Right, so who have we got? Ooh, Phil's looking deep in thought.
Hang on now.
All right.
Hang on, I've just been checking with my person who knows. And they've got a different agreed number to me. So let's have a look.
Right then, so...
Right, because...
7 and Phil's got 8.
Yeah, I thought I had 8. And if it's 7, it's not even on the list. So that's going to be really interesting. Okay. Let's have a look. Ribbles, Finds and Crafts said there were 7. They said on the press. I agree.
Right.
Then
on the map, which is like the metal
thingy.
Yeah, Phil's got that one.
On the cutout sign.
On the cutout, yes, Phil's got that. In the bed. Yeah. In the Window by Phil. Yeah. Buy My Cake.
Yeah.
And Phil waving him.
Yeah.
And Beata waving him.
That would be 8. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hang on.
The suspense is building. I'm sure
1,
everybody's bitten their
2,
fingers down to the
3,
quicks.
4,
The nails,
5,
not the fingers.
6, 7. But I count 8. And we've named them all, and they got 7.
And mind you, with your numbering, you put By Caroline's Cake and Phil waving him. So were you waving him By My Cake?
By Caroline's Cake and Phil waving him, they've counted it as 1.
Right, there we go.
That's understandable. Yeah, that's where we've come differently. Is he was by the cake on the table, and then I said, Manky's here with us.
Right, so there we go.
Which I counted as 2.
So there we go.
And you
7 or
counted-
8 then we'll allow.
So I counted as 2, you counted as 1. Yeah, but I can't do that because I didn't give 7 as an option.
Right, but some people before had put down numbers anyway, so...
Well, yeah, but if we go on the numbers and we go 8.
Oh, the stress of one question. So all we want to know is how many Mankeys there were, and we can't agree between all of us.
It's just as well we jump to this question, isn't it?
Yes.
Because if we go with 8, then the first correct answer in on 8 after the go, well, before the go, because it didn't matter.
And this is if it's 8.
Yeah, I've got 8. And Tom Burley was in with 8.
Well done, Tom.
Ed Creative had 8.
Well done, Ed.
See, so there's people who agreed with me.
And did anybody else have 8?
And then Ribble Crafts and Finds, although they put 7, actually listed all 8 in their thing.
So we'll have those as first 3 on the 8s, but we'll also have a first, second and third on the 7s.
First, second and third on the 7s would be Carlin Scott.
Well done, Carlin.
Mike Sage.
Well done, Mike. And do we have another 7? Ooh.
No, because they can't get 7s when they go on to the ABC. So only 2 went with 7s.
Right.
So there we are. Look, it's 8. It's 8 because there's 8 because he was on the table and then he appeared in my hand, which is 2 different places.
This just introduces such stress to the videos.
Do you know what? It's going to be so calm next week because Manky's not in the video.
I know. It'll be a lot. How are we going to fill the last 10 minutes with suspense?
Well, we'll get to ask all the questions because I had to skip a question tonight to get through and we're already 3 minutes late.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for putting up with us and our complete unprofessionality this week. I think we've been worse than ever this week. But it's been lovely having you joining us. Lovely to have you all popping around and chatting to us down in our office. And we'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget...
Have fun! Bye! Well, we're starting over again.
My thumbnail's gone.
Oh, we can't
Got it.